Good evening, YouTube and the tribes of the horror realm. Assuming they are watching it in this evening. We are doing day 2, or evening 2, of Tattoo Doorman's 7 Days of Childhood Fears.
Does it look okay?
I don't think you'll be anyone's childhood fear at the moment.
I know, but you know, when I get home, I just have to let my hair down.
Do what you want. You can go free booming if you want.
Hey, no, let's keep it clean.
Alright, anyhow, day 2 brings us to scary buildings. And since we had this discussion of what a scary building is, would you like to run them down, honey?
No.
It can be a scary house. It can be a scary hospital, a scary church, a scary bungalow, a scary cabana, a scary cabin. It can be a scary skyscraper.
We get the gist of it, okay.
You didn't this morning.
I know, but I got confused.
So, do you have any scary stories about scary buildings when you were a child that kind of terrified you in your neighborhood in Little Portugal?
No, but I remember this time when we went to Portugal and we went to visit this church. And it was scary because when you walked in and you looked over to the side, you see a statue of Jesus in a purple cloak with a crown of thorns carrying the cross, and it looked so lifelike. And also, when you went to the altar and you're standing up in the altar, you could see Jesus looking straight at you. It was like the creepiest thing I ever saw.
It's keeping you Portuguese in line is what it's doing.
I'm telling you, they're very religious over there.
Over there? What about here?
Well, in our little Portugal, southern, yes, that too.
I grew up in suburbia, so they kind of kept the scary buildings to a minimum because they didn't want to depreciate the value of the neighborhood. But I do have one quick story. When I was a young kid, me and my friends used to hang around this big dirt mountain. It was like an empty lot, and there was this big dirt mound that you would climb up and all that, and we'd have to do stuff up there. And you know what we called it? The mound. It was a big mound. So we used to hang out at the mound, and it just went back, and it was, just overgrown green. And my friend and I, and we would cut through there to go to other parts of the neighborhood, and there was this house in the back. It wasn't the best kept one, but I think I remember we came across some dead animals in the outskirts of the property, and we ended up sneaking into their neighborhood, their yard, and looked in their back storage shed or something like that, and we saw something else in there we thought were like bones or something like that. And at the time, we had heard about this Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Still a little too young to actually have seen it, except for pictures in horror magazines and all. So our young minds just kind of went wild, and we were thinking that, these people are friggin' deviants. So we were gonna try to do something by, I think we were gonna do our little Dukes of Hazzard thing. It's like, okay, you be Bo, I'll be Luke, and the other guy got to be Uncle Jesse. He was complaining because he had to be an old guy with a beard. And we were gonna I think rattle their cages with some fireworks or something like that. And needless to say, they found out who the little rapscallions were and kind of called his parents on us.
Yes, okay.
But so the closest thing to a scary house was our overstimulated minds thinking these people were friggin' redneck deviants. But I digress. We don't want to keep rambling on about this whole thing here. So we will talk about 2 scary buildings in a movie. And you finally decided upon a movie. What is it, honey?
Psycho. You gotta admit, the house that Norman Bates lives in with his dead mother is the
Spoiler.
it's the scariest thing ever. You actually gotta really see the movie though to understand what I just said. Great movie, very scary, and the house is just it's a very scary house. It's very old. The outside look of it is just it's enough to give you the creeps. And it's a good movie.
Very iconic house, and I think actually in Psycho 2, there's that scene near the end of the movie, spoiler, where you see Norman, it's kind of back, it's dusk, and you see the silhouette of the house, and you see Norman standing outside the house,
Yeah.
his silhouette, and in the window you can see the lit window, the silhouette of the mother up there. And of course, that's the poster, the Psycho 2 movie poster, and it's just a really awesome image.
Also wanted to mention the Addams Family. That house is pretty creepy looking too in that movie, but it's also I like things just to look at the houses in these movies because they're scary looking, but they're also just very unique. You know, I find them very just different.
Charming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eh.
My pick for scary house or building, well, it hasn't come out on DVD yet, so I don't have anything to show you. But it would be from the movie The Woman in Black. And the house that is in this house is on like not even a peninsula, because the water during high tide just comes right up near the house, and it just cuts off all roots to civilization.
Yeah.
So you are basically on this island in this big creepy mansion with no way out of it. You can leave and walk, eighth of a mile down, but eventually you come to just water and you can't get away. And right outside the mansion, they've got a overgrown cemetery, you know, and if you've seen the movie, some of the things they do with the house itself, and anytime you have a creepy house with a lot of windows, and you start looking up there and you just think, oh my God, I just saw something in that one window over there, just freaks you out.
Great movie.
Women in Black had a really cool looking and chilling, scary house.
Yeah.
So that would be my pick for this challenge.
I have to give you that.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's it. House in Psycho, a very immortalized house, and a new one that I think is going to go down as a really legendary house in horrors is Women in Black. Those are our picks. Thanks for taking the time for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow with whatever Tattooed Doorman brings to us then.
Bye.